This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by the thrill, Jordan Gill, over Zoom. Jordan, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Obviously, it's good to hear you're doing well yourself. Obviously, it's fight week now. This must have felt like a long time coming for yourself. Obviously, you're back in the last year since you've been back, since you was last out. How does it feel to know that you're only a matter of days away now from being able to get back into the ring?
Oh, it's a good feeling. It's like you said, it's been a long time coming. These weeks have gone slow, and you've just been training and training and training. I feel like you're training for nothing because a fight never comes around. But we're finally here. We can see the finish line, and as long as we both pass our COVID tests and manage to quarantine safely, then we're going to be fighting on Saturday night.
Obviously, everybody knows you had, some health problems over the past year or so. Coming through the other side of that, though, now. But when you was going through it all, how did you kind of find staying strong mentally, knowing that the better times would come and you would obviously be able to get back into the position you're in now, knowing fight night is only a matter of 5 days away?
Just believing in the process, just knowing that I'm good enough to do it. I'm good enough to make it, and having that self belief, and just I think I'm just stubborn because most people probably would have given up if they'd had to go through the stuff that I had to go through, and so many hoops to jump over and so many like hurdles in the way. But I'm just stubborn, and I'll not finish until I have to, and this has been a long time coming, and I'm looking forward to fighting. And when we get my hand raised on Saturday, it's going to be even sweeter. All the struggles that we've gone through.
Jordan, before we obviously come on to Saturday, just talk to me about lockdown. Though, how did you find it, knowing that you'd obviously just got back into the gym before it, and then all of a sudden you go into lockdown and you got to wait another 4 or 5 months until you get your chance to get back in the ring?
Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare because, especially for me, because the week that we got locked down, I was meant to be fighting. So it'd been a long time leading up to that fight for me. So that felt like it was never going to come around, and then that show got cancelled the week of the fight, and it was just gutting. So I collected my thoughts. I had to find some energy from somewhere, and I got back training. I had probably a week where I felt sorry for myself, and I was just back training and looking forward to a new date because, like I said, I always knew it's going to be 3, 4, maybe 5 months before I was boxing. But where at the start of lockdown, Dave said, "Okay, your fight's cancelled. It's not good, but you can use this time to better yourself and close the gap on people ahead of you, and further the gap on people behind you." I think that's what we did because I worked so hard during lockdown. I treated it as though it was a training camp. I was at home with my family, which was nice for me because it's the longest time that I've spent at home since in my whole adult life, because I took myself away from home to turn professional in Sheffield at the age of 17, and I've not been at home this long for a long time. So I was at home. I was training with my dad. My dad was my amateur coach, so he was holding the pads, and was working a lot. With FaceTime with Dave 3 times a week. Didn't miss a session. My strength conditioning coach was brilliant, Danny Wilson from Boxing Science. He was on the FaceTime twice a week for strength sessions, and then again for conditioning sessions as well. So I couldn't ask for a better camp. All things considering, it being at home. My nutritionist Scott Robinson, he's been on it. He's been brilliant the whole way through. Everything I've needed, he's covered, and I've got myself in good shape. I've been back working with Dave for weeks and weeks now, and I'm seeing the improvements of being dedicated during lockdown.
Jordan, let's obviously move on to fight week now. We're here. Just first and foremost, talk to me about your understanding of how this week will play out for yourself from when you arrive at fight camp and until you're allowed to leave. How do you expect the week to play out and what you can and can't do?
I think what you can do, what you can bank on, is me sitting in my bedroom watching a lot of Netflix. It's going to be very strange. Different to a normal fight week, but at the same time, you can never expect things to go your way or this way or that way. You just got to turn up and roll with the punches. So tomorrow, we'll be going down to Brentwood. I'll be arriving at the fight camp hotel on arrival. Get all the bags out the car, and get tested on site. So we'll be tested and then be given our room key. have to go straight to our room, quarantine for 12 to 18 hours until we get our clear test. If we get a negative test, then we can stay. If we test positive, then we have to leave immediately. But obviously, I'm banking that we will get a clear test. I've been having tests during training to make sure that it's safe for me to spar and turn up to the gym. So all my tests have been clear. I'm good to go. And from that point, I think Wednesday we have a media day where I think we do all the TV shots for Matchroom and Sky Sports. So we'll do that press conference on Thursday, and then weigh in on Friday. Eat a little bit of food, and then we have a scrap on Saturday.
Let's get into the fight with Reece, and just talk to me about, for how long have you kind of known before the fight was announced, that is, how long did you know about the potential bout with Reece? And Eddie made a big point that he wants to put on 50-50 fights throughout fight camps for boxing's return. Is that how you see your matchup with Reece Bellotti on Saturday night, or do you still, obviously I know you're going to favour yourself, but do you think it's not necessarily a 50-50?
I think it depends. I think it depends on what Jordan Gill turns up. If it's Jordan Gill that boxed Tanoka and lost, then it's a 50-50 fight. But I know that's not me, and I know that I'm going to turn up in the best shape and best fashion possible, best shape of my career. So I don't think it's a 50-50 fight, and I think I'll prove that on Saturday night. But, on paper, then probably, yeah, from an outsider's point of view, from even boxing fans' point of view, I think, yeah, it's a 50-50 fight. He's a good, solid domestic level fighter, and I believe that I'm above that level, and I believe that I'll prove it on Saturday. So before they announced it, I didn't actually know 100% until that it was on for a long time. But I remember, when was it? It would have been probably June, when Dave rang me, maybe in the middle of June, and Dave said, Eddie's been on the phone. He said that they're doing shows in the garden, in Matchroom Square Garden. They're gonna put these shows on behind closed doors, and because you was on the first show cancelled, then you've got an option to fight on it. And the thing is, with these fights, then they're gonna have to be 50-50 fights. So they said, "Oh, we're getting some names together. Would you fight this guy?" And the first guy they said was Reece Bellotti. I said, "Yeah, no problem." So these are the fights that you want. These are the fights that, if they see that as a 50-50 fight, there's no way that my career can't progress from that fight. So I want to get to the top as quick as possible. And I think this is a great first step on the ladder if you consider the last 12 months that I've had. I'm coming back with a real fight. I don't want no gimmicks, don't want no takeover fights. I want to get back in big fights as soon as possible. It's a great first step on the ladder, and it's going to be a good, entertaining fight.
Who do you think there's more pressure on, Jordan? Obviously, before Tanoka, there was a lot of excitement. So there's a lot of excitement about you. That loss just kind of pushing kind of your plans back a little bit. Whereas Reece, he's also suffered a few losses in his career, and he's admitted this may well be his last chance to kind of have a go at boxing and achieve what he wants to in the sport. But who do you think there's more pressure on, yourself or on Reece?
I've not really thought too much about it, but looking at it, I'd probably say me. One, because people are expecting me to start boxing. Two, because I'm not in a position where I've got. I think from what I've heard, Reece has got a great job. He makes good money. He doesn't need boxing. I think he does it because he likes it. And I'm not in that position. I haven't got a job to fall back on. Boxing is I'll put all my eggs in one basket. And I think when push comes to shove, I've got to bite down on my gumshoe, and I've got to tough it out, because this is my life, boxing. So think there's a lot of pressure on me, and I like it that way because I put a lot of pressure on myself. I think I don't feel the pressure from Sky Sports cameras. I don't feel the pressure from the crowd when there is one. I don't feel the pressure from who's watching or who's ringside and stuff like that. So I feel the pressure from the pressure that I put on myself, and I like to put a lot of pressure on myself because that's how I get the best out of myself, and that's where you see the best of me, and that's the way I like it.
How do you think the fight will play out between the pair of you when you are in the ring on Saturday night?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think half of me thinks he's gonna come and try and apply a lot of pressure, but half of me thinks that he might try and outbox me. I'm not sure. It depends what he does. It depends what I do. And I've not really thought too much on tactics. I've not studied Reece fighting. I've not worked on certain things in the gym. All I've done is made sure that I'm the best possible version of myself on fight night. And I think the best me beats the best him. And I'm good at adapting in front of somebody, and whatever he brings on Saturday, I'll be adapting to.
Jordan, just to move away from yourself, just get your thoughts on obviously the headline fight on Saturday night. A lot of excitement for it. Sam Egginton versus Ted Cheeseman. A lot of people kind of seeing it as an all-out war, effectively, for as long as it lasts. Is that what you expect from a pair on Saturday?
I'm not sure. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, and it's bad as a boxer, but I just don't care. I don't care because I'm fighting at 7 p.m. and all I care about is my fight. So once my fight's done, I'm gonna be getting changed, have a nice little shower. I'm going straight home. I'll be home to watch the main event because you know, as a boxer you got to be selfish, and for me, I look at these fights and unless it's somebody that I'm really really interested in watching, then I'll probably not watch them. But like I say, it's going to be a good fight because they're both come forward fighters. I've seen them both box before, and they're both nice lads. So I wish them both the best of luck. But I just don't care about anyone apart from myself.
Jordan, a couple more quick ones then. A victory for you on Saturday, what does it do for your career? How do you see the rest of this year playing out?
Yeah, I think beat Bellotti, and I'm in big fights now. It depends in the way that I beat him as well. I think if I look good and do a good job, then I think we can push on for some big titles. I'm looking at fighting big names. I don't want to be at domestic level. I want to be above that. So these are the fights I'll be chasing. I've got to beat Bellotti first, and I'm not looking past him. But after this fight, I see myself in big fights, and ultimately, if the goal for me is to get back to Peterborough, and I want to headline back at Peterborough. That was a great night for me last year, and I want to get back and do the same, hopefully, for some big titles.
And finally, Jordan, what would you like to say to everyone who will tune in on Saturday night, and a final message to Reece ahead of Saturday night?
Reece, pass your COVID test. Stay safe. Hope you and your family are well. Let's put on a good show for the fans. Much respect. Thanks for taking the fight. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And the fans, thanks for tuning in. I know you're going to enjoy it. There's no way that this fight is not going to be entertaining. So enjoy it, and maybe sink a few pints as well. Why not? It's Saturday.
Jordan, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Best of luck with kind of the rest of this week, and of course on fight night. Thank you for your time, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.